Zulma Gonzalez, this mic is all yours.
Thankful Thursday, family. Sharon, spirit was on a roll. I'm like, oh, I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And anyway, Thankful Thursday. I'll come to this. I'll come to this. So Sharon, and she was just spirit was just moving through her, just moving through her as her. I love that. I love when you don't even realize like time, that you realize there is no time, and you just keep on going. You keep on going. Like, oh, this is great. And you said God is silent. I heard that. God is silent. That still small voice that we talk about, it's really it's our own voice talking. It's not that booming thing that we see on the television shows. I don't know, Ten Commandments or one of those. I don't know. Um, it's not that booming voice. It's not that uh like thunder, the way it's projected in the Bible, which makes me laugh. Um, but it's just that instant, that moment, that revelation, that revelatory thing, and then you don't hear it again. It's like it was there, and then and you look around. I look around like, where? Oh, and it's still, and it's quiet, and it makes no sound at all, but I hear it loud and clear. Mm, mm, mm. That's what you just said. That God is silent. That's. I'll go back and listen to the rest of the recording, but that's the part that's what I heard. That God is silent, and it locked me in right there. So hi everyone. Hi. Welcome to um my first hair crocheted hair, first time ever. I waited 69 years to do this. Um I don't even think it was a thing 69 years ago. And basically what it is, for those who don't know, and I learned, my hair is braided in here. It's braided back. And then they literally take a needle, kind of it doesn't it's a hook, something with a hook, and loop, and the hair extensions have a loop at the end, and they loop through it. They call it crochet. So there's looped hair throughout, and it's kind of cute. I think I kind of like it. I have it I have it kind of out of my face, because it's something I'm still adjusting to. Um, but anyway, now you know the story of loop of crochet hair. Um, Anyhow, all is well. No, I have nothing to report that I can think of. I mean, it's just been a wonderful week. That's my report. It's been a wonderful, wonderful week, and I, as of this morning, it was one of those days where um, Spirit said, "All right, you're going on trust today, because I love what Sharon mentioned about having a neurodivergent brain. See, here's the thing: we we're all unique. We're all unique, because here's if they have decided that there is a condition, and I'm putting it in the quotation marks, that they're calling ADHD, which I say stands for Accepting Divine Healing Daily. Write that down. Accepting Divine Healing Daily, ADHD. If and I'm not the only one that has it that's been diagnosed with it. There are several of us that have been diagnosed with it. Suddenly, I'm not special. I'm not uh, in a league of my own. Granted, I'm unique. No two blades of grass are the same. No two snowflakes are the same. I first read that in this thing called You by Dr. Ernest Holmes. But that grabbed me. No two anything is the same. And isn't supposed to be. So I don't, having a diagnosis only helped me understand why I, do some things, some ways, and what have you. But it's unapologetic. Oh, it's not. I'm sorry. It's no. It's like I have ADHD, and I get to be as creative as I want, and however it comes out, it happens, and I don't have to be ashamed. I don't have to be ashamed of of things that some people can do very well, and I can't seem to get a handle on it all. There are things that I do very well that others can't get a handle on. So, that whole hierarchy of difficulty, hierarchy of illusions. That's what that really comes down to. Um, so I make it known in case. In fact, I had a conversation with my bestie yesterday, and she was telling me about a friend of hers. Um, she's gotten a chance to see firsthand. Um, although she saw it with me, but in a different way. Um, but she got a chance to see firsthand what a person, how some people's ways of thinking are different than hers. And my bestie's not a judge. She's not one who spends her time judging people. So um, she's just learning. And we talked about it. We laughed about it. And we basically, the behavior modifications, what do we call it? Cognitive behavioral therapy, which is the course basically saying that every response you make is determined by what you think you are, and what you want to be must determine every response you make. There's instructions: begin each day by preparing yourself. It's in the course. It's in the course. Begin each day by making preparations. Uh, um, and that in the rule for decision, it talks about, planning the kind of day you want to have. These sorts of things, and not plan. The word planning is and it doesn't mean. And there are other areas in the course. I mean, the course speaks to us, and it speaks to us on two levels. Sometimes it's talking clearly level one, which is at spiritual level, from the intangible, from the truth, from eternity. And other times, a lot of times, it's speaking to us at level two, at the physical level. And miracle principle number 12 reminds us that miracles are thoughts. Miracles are thoughts, and they can be at level one, spiritual level, or level two, bodily level. One, one is eternal, and one isn't. One can be threatened, one cannot. It's that simple, really. It sounds simple. Um, for me, that's like a given now. I get it when I'm reading, like, oh, level two. That's not talking to me at spirit level. It's guiding me to get there. It's guiding me to realize that this way that I used to think, this way that I used to be, this that I used to believe that I was, is not what I am. I am not this body. I'm free. And you feel free to insert the I for yourself, because I'm saying I, but it's it's not just. I'm, I'm just one of those snowflakes. I'm just one of those blades of grass. I'm grateful to be just one in the bunch. That we all are expressing God in our own unique way, which makes it easy to avoid judgment. Um, it makes it easier to avoid judgment. I've been shaking my head at at some things that I've been hearing about how things are being right now. Things are temporary, all temporary, of course. But I've been shaking my head at it, and then I have to stop shaking my head. It's like, oh, Zulma, you're shaking your head, you're judging. Oh, you girl, you're judging. Listen to you judging. You know, um, and I have to remember, don't judge, because what they're doing is different from what you would do. Zulma, don't do that. Don't do that. And then I laugh, and I let it go. And remind myself to bless, to bless, to bless, to love, to love, to love, and to recognize that my judgments are my call for love, while I'm looking at someone else's call for love. But if I'm seeing it as a call for love, it's still coming through me. Anyway, all that being said, thank you again, Sharon, for um, what you had to say. So let's do what we always do, and briefly. Okay, so I want to share. I want to share, and I'm not. I got too many. I got two screens in front of me, and I can't figure out what to do on either one. Okay, this one says share. Okay, let's share this window. All right. We're looking at Course in Miracles, Science of Mind for those who um, don't know, who've never been here before. We're doing A Course in Miracles meets Science of Mind. We're talking about, and other metaphysical teachings. We're talking about the truth as written, as explained, as given, as downloaded, as provided from various spiritual teachers, from various teachers. You know, it's funny that we say, you know, we're talking about spiritual. We're all spiritual because we're all spirit. Um, I'm focusing more. This is the goal at this moment, to focus more on the oneness of it all, the oneness of it all, just the oneness of it all. So these names, it's all one. Course in Miracles, my Science of Mind, metaphysical teaching. Oh, it's all one. It's all one. It's all God. And we're reminded we should daily train our thoughts to recognize the spirit in everything we do. Daily train our thoughts. Daily train our thoughts. Not just this moment, not just, you know, oh, I pray in the morning and I pray before I go to bed. I hear people say that. And in between, well, it's topsy-turvy and worry and trying to make things happen. And we should daily train our thought to recognize the spirit, recognize the spirit, recognize the spirit. In the Bible is written that it's written that Jesus said that God is spirit, and they that worship must worship in spirit and in truth. So we should daily train our thought to recognize the spirit in everything we say, do, or think. And there's no other way. There's no other way. Because anything else is not real. Anything else can be threatened. Anything else does not exist, does not have permanence. Anything else is simply not the truth. And to learn how to think is to learn how to live. And these are both, this is both from Dr. Ernest Holmes. The course reminds us that this is a course in mind training. We are learning to train our minds. We are learning to train our minds. We are working on, I am working on seeing God in everything. I am working on recognizing the spirit in everything I do, say, or think. All learning involves attention and study at some level. And it's more than that, you know. So once I've learned it, Ernest Holmes says the truth known is truth demonstrated. Truth known is truth demonstrated. So I can talk the talk all day long if I want to. I can sit here and great hour. Yeah. And then turn around and like I had a person say to me one day, don't hand me that new thought stuff. People think that real life ends when I close the books. That real life ends when I go out here. Real life ends when I've gone past my study. That real life ends. People believe that real life ends when I choose to live in love. People believe that real life ends when I talk about us being one. People, they, yeah, but You see that situation over there? You ought to be worried about it. Wait, no, that's life. That's ending real life. That there is ending real life. Because what's real can't be threatened. What's real is eternal. What's real is the oneness of it all. What's real is the understanding that all things do come to pass, that they don't come to stay. What's real is understanding that these experiences and these situations, that's not, it has no real value because it comes and it goes. It doesn't come to stay. Experiences and situations are there to teach us. They're just lessons that life would have me learn, that God would have me learn. That's all that is. And I am to take the lesson. It's not for me to judge what's going on out there. It's not for me to attempt to change what's happening out there. Because I'm reminded that I am the cause and I am the effect. Today's workbook lesson talks about that, and we will too. You govern your surroundings. An untrained mind accomplishes nothing. Yeah, period. We govern our surroundings by the nature of what's taking place in our consciousness. That's from Joel Goldsmith. We govern our surroundings by the nature of what is taking place in our consciousness. So if I'm worried about that situation out there, that sentence starts with, I'm worried about. And the Course reminds us that I'm never upset for the reason I think. Never. I'm upset because I think that that thing out there is the problem. The problem is my thinking. Mm, mm, mm. What power, what power our thoughts have. We naturally become master over all life when we can understand and master the process of thinking. That's from Christian Larson from his book, Thinking for Results. we 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 worry too much. We spend too much time being afraid of what was and what used to be. I'm going to jump right to a slide. Can I do this? Let me see. Can I do this? Let's see how I can do this. I want this one. I had taken a lot of the workbook lessons years ago. This was years old. I had taken a lot of the workbook lessons and had put them in according to categories, according to their top subject matter, their topically. Yeah. And this was the section I entitled Hurt and Suffering, and it was based on yesterday's workbook lesson. But these are the workbook lessons in A Course in Miracles, which remind us it can be but myself I crucify. It can be only me. I can go blame somebody else. I know. I'm getting I post some things on Facebook about integrity. The word integrity is not in it, but they're about integrity. And there are some people who normally would comment or something, they are not touching this with a 10-foot pole. Because it's one of those things where the shoe seems to fit. But of course, when is any of us absolutely always in integrity? Do we not at least, lie to ourselves sometimes? That's the disadvantage, if you will, of being in this human body. It could be something like, oh, I got a pain. Oh, it's nothing. And it may be nothing. But everything, if all things are lessons that God would have me learn, then it's not really nothing. It's something. There's something. I just don't know what it is yet. And it's not for me to know. And it may mean, pay more attention to my thoughts. It may mean that I walked up against something and bruised myself and I'll see the bruise later, whatever. But we all tell ourselves stuff. Oh, it's that we at some point. But it can be but myself I crucify. I do this to myself because only my condemnation injures me. I am condemning myself. Okay, so you said such and such about me. And I didn't know it. Didn't bother me. Didn't injure me at all. And then somebody came and told me, you said such and such. All of a sudden, I'm in pain. Oh my God, I can't. What? Dove said that about me? Oh my God. Can't believe that he would never expect it. That he would. Oh, expectations are illusions, family. Expectations are illusions. From every moment is new. Every moment is new. And I never know. How can I know what you're going to say next or do next? I don't even know what I'm going to say next or do next. I grabbed these lessons from a file that I had. I just grabbed them like at quarter after 9, 20 after 9 Eastern. I'm in Eastern time for those who aren't. I just grabbed them. I didn't know at 9, a minute before that, seconds before that I was going to do that. But I was reflecting on yesterday's workbook lesson. Those are important to me. Those lessons about suffering and pain. Because the course is telling me, is reminding me, not just the course, that whatever suffers is not part of me. It's not me. And that only my condemnation is injuring me. I'm doing this to myself. I'm going to take this screen down for a bit. I'm going to take it down. I'll take it down. All right. I have to put my computer in the shop because my touch screen isn't working at all and hasn't worked at all for a while. Um, hey, let me say hi to everybody since I just saw my brother Regis show up. Sharon, hello, back to Sharon. And Linda, hi, and Dove, and Lynn, and Lori, and Bob, and Mickey, Jeb, Sally, and my brother Regis. Um, I saw Cher online. Not saw her, saw a comment from Cher online. Glad to see her. Um, uh, just glad to hear from her. Um, I think about her. I actually think when she's not here, I actually am aware that she's not. Um, and it goes to show that I think about people not only when I'm here, but even when I'm not. So when I saw her, even when I saw her pop up online, it made me smile. But anyway, Raymond Charles Barker, in his book, The Power of Decision. Let's see, maybe I can put it on the screen too. Let's see. Let's see. Um, yeah, I could do that. In his book, The Power of Decision, 1968, um, he had a section titled, right in the very first chapter, titled, You Are Not the Problem. You are not the problem. You are not now, nor have you ever been the problem. You are the person, rather, yeah, you are the person who sees the problem in order to activate the idea necessary to solve the problem. I'm going to pause right there. In workbook lesson 23, which I don't have in front of me, the course reminds us that there is no point in lamenting the world and that there's no point in trying to change the world because it is incapable of change. But that there is a point in changing our mind about the world. And then we are changing the cause. I don't know, it could be quote. That sounds pretty good. I know it's workbook lesson 23. I can I think it's I can escape from the world I see by giving up attack thoughts. I think that's the workbook lesson title. But it talks about the fact that, I'm attacking myself. I'm constantly attacking myself. Back to what the workbook lesson says. Only my condemnation injures me. It's only me that I'm crucifying. It's only me. Raymond Charles Barker continues. He says, ideas, not physical bodies, solve problems. So I can't solve the problem because we learn that there is no problem. There really is no problem, except the belief that I can be separate from God. There is no problem. He goes on and says, mind and emotion are the essentials of life. And you are mind and emotion. You're not the office, the thing, or the situation. You are intelligence with a capital I, capable of knowing the right idea at the right time to make the right decision. Your right ideas, activating right decisions, sound the death knell to all negatives. Makes it go away. We have a choice. We always have that choice. Evil can't linger on the pathway of the right-minded. Oh my gosh. Evil cannot linger on the pathway of the right-minded. If I am being right-minded, hold that thought. If I am being right-minded, then I'm not wasting my time judging that thing out there, that person out there that's doing that thing out there. I'm not wasting my time disturbing my own peace. I'm not wasting my time. You know what I say? There are two kinds of business, my business and none of my business. I'm not wasting my time trying to figure out. It was a conversation I was having with Regis a couple weeks ago. And I was doing the maybe thing. Well, maybe, but and he said to me, what? And he said, I'm not worrying about focusing on what's happening out there, on what's going on out there. All I can focus on is basically he was saying, what's going on in here. And that's the truth. That's really the truth. We don't know the whole picture. I don't know the whole picture. I never know the whole picture. I never know the whole picture. Which is why, and we're taught, don't judge. It's not don't judge. You can't judge. You really can't, because you can't see the 360 of any situation. I understand that people in pain will do what we consider some painful stuff. People in pain will do stuff that is hurtful, appears what we would call hurtful. Taking something that doesn't belong to me, that I didn't acquire on my own. It could be taking a physical life. We can think of so many things. We can think of so many things that we consider hurtful. But the reason why we consider them hurtful, I'll speak for myself. The reason why I consider them hurtful is because to me, it feels like it's infringing on someone else. In the Course and the Bible, it talks about the golden rule, treating others the way you want to be treated. Now, the problem with that, though, is that if I believe that I deserve to be mistreated, then I'm subject to do that thing to someone else because I'm expecting that to come back to me. There's stuff going on in the chat. Let's see. Mm, thanks, ladies. I see your messages. Regis wrote, we can't judge. We just think we're judging. Exactly. We think we don't see the whole picture. We never see the whole picture. We never do. Not only others, quote, quote, out there, but even in here, I, I don't know everything about me. I probably know more about me than you do, maybe. I'm talking about the tangible me. I can tell you things from the time I was a baby, but there's periods of time, I remember. I don't remember. I'm only going by the story that mommy told me, or something, a photograph that I saw, that picture of daddy and me. I, I don't even know. So how am I going to claim that I know you? Well, see, I've known you all your life, and I've known you for years, and no, I know who you were. Yesterday ended at midnight. This moment is different than the one that just passed. Today's the only October 9th, 2025 we've ever had. How can I say I know who you are, September 17th? I don't, I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to go back to Raymond Charles Barker, something else that caught my attention. I think this is it. Let's see. Yeah. In the section, How Problems Are Born, he says the manifest universe is the continuous operation of the first cause, that is God, what we call God, which is mind, capital M mind. That's right. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. I live with God, the mind of God, the capital M mind of God is the allness of life. It's simply the allness of life. Nothing woo-woo about it, nothing mystical about it, or rather magical. Nothing magical about it. It's mystical. But nothing magical about it. It simply is the allness of life. We are also continuous operation of this first cause as mind in conscious action. In other words, I have a body. And I have a body. I'm not a body, but I have a body. And this is how I demonstrate. I demonstrate God. I live in it. I move in it. I have my being in it. I am it in form, not the snowflake, not the blade of grass, called a human being, called as Zulma. I'm skipping a little bit. There is one God, one mind, one cause, and one intelligence, and we individualize this. Going to the next paragraph. Troubles result. Talking about hurt and suffering. Troubles result when an unintelligent factor is introduced into a field of intelligent activity. Now, that basically means that we're thinking wrong-mindedly. That's basically what that means. We're going into the wrong mind now. Worry is an unintelligent factor, as are fear, hate, and resentment. This list could conclude all the negatives known. Here is the birth of the problem. Here is the birth of our hurt and suffering. Here is the birth of what's not real. Here is the birth of what's temporary. Here is the reason for our pain. Worry is the gestation period during which a negative situation is produced by our thought. The negative situation is produced by our thought. It's not that thing out there that is the negative situation. It's a situation. It's it's one of the occurrences. But whether or not we see it as it is or not depends on how we choose to think about it. Worry is an unintelligent factor. It's the gestation period during which a negative situation is produced by our thoughts and appears in our experience as a problem. We're doing this to ourselves. That's all we keep being reminded of, that we are doing it to ourselves. Always. to ourselves. It can be but myself I crucify. Only my condemnation injures me. I'm doing, the Course tells us this over and over in so many different ways. And I was talking about the Course yesterday, and I'm going to say right now, the Course in Miracles for me is, it's like it's a synopsis. It's the culmination of all these of lots of these other works. I can quote from this book or that book, or I've read from this book and that book. The Course, there are lots of places where the Course does too. From this and that, it's giving it to me all. Almost giving it to me all as the cliff notes. The Course in Miracles to me are cliff notes. And I love it. I absolutely love it, and I'm grateful that I came into the Course first. Well, after the Bible, but before religious science and other metaphysical teachings. But then, as I look at it, even today, I read the Bible now. I read parts of the Bible now, and it's there. It was there all along. It's just how I was seeing it. Whatever suffers is not part of me. Forgiveness. Let's talk about that a moment. Forgiveness ends all suffering and loss. Forgiveness is not what you did, and I'm going to forgive you for it, and I'm going to be the bigger person because I'm forgiving you your trespasses. You trespassed against me, and woe is me because of it. But I don't want to. I'm going to forgive you for it. Well, that so-called forgiveness, is conditional. So there's no love in it. There's not a drop of love in it. And B, does not absolve me of the suffering that I'm causing myself, the condemnation, because even though I'm looking at the whole picture, I'm including what you did with how I feel. How I feel is not based on what you did. How I feel is based on what I think about what you did. I can't say that. Oh, I can't say that too many times. What I feel is based on what I think, not on what is actually the occurrence out there. That's why forgiveness ends all the suffering and loss. There is no loss. Hey, if I am everything and I have everything, what is lost? I was talking to my friend yesterday about her mother's transition, and we were talking about the pain that went, her words, with her mother's, with losing her mother. And I jumped in, but it's not loss. When I think of it as loss, that causes me pain. When I think, when I think of it as loss, it causes me pain. When I think of having lost anything, it causes me pain. But when I look at the truth, in the Bible, it says the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Everything is God, is what that's saying, basically. It's all God. It's all God. The idea, and since ideas don't leave their source, and we are an idea in the mind of God, in the mind of life. God is life. I'm trying to make this, and I know, and I may very well be preaching to the choir. I'm preaching to the choir. But I don't know who's listening. Oh, by the way, if you happen to be on YouTube, feel free to please like and subscribe. We'd appreciate it. Thank you so much. But I don't know who's listening, and I don't know who needs this today. I certainly do. I certainly do. Reminding myself that nothing is lost. Where does it go? Oh, I may have brought this up. When a body When a body ceases to be, when a body has survived its purpose, when a body has survived its purpose and it ceases to be, we call it death. I don't, when a person makes that physical transition, where does that body go? Okay, so it goes back into the earth, or somebody puts it in an urn, or whatever. The remains. That's what the funeral directors call it. The remains. Where does it go? Does it leave the universe? It can't. It can't go anywhere. There's no place for it to go. It's still here. Who knows what I'm inhaling? What's in the air? Who knows? But nothing goes anywhere. It doesn't leave its source. It's all still here. It was all, even that was an idea in the mind of God. Because if my mind is connected to my mind is connected to the one mind. I was gonna say part of, but no, it's not a part. There are no parts. If my mind is connected to the one mind, and my ideas, my thoughts, my ideas come from that one mind. From the ideas come thoughts. From thoughts come feelings. From feelings come behavior. It's all God. So so somebody had the idea of creating, making a computer. It's still all God. I don't care. And when this computer is no good, and they stick it down, they break it down to the little metal pieces or whatever, and they scrap it and whatever. It's not going anywhere. It's still staying in the universe because it's still all part of God. All right. That's the tangible stuff. That's not really what I don't know why I went there, and it's okay that I did. Um, Forgiveness is about just being willing to let go of whatever thoughts I had about it, so I can stop suffering, so I can stop hurting. Because, as workbook lesson, which was yesterday's lesson, I can be hurt by nothing but my thoughts. I can be hurt by nothing but my thoughts. Oh, this 282 isn't supposed to be there, but I'm going to put it anyway. I'm going to leave it anyway. I'm not be afraid of love today. So, because fear and love that doesn't even go in the same sentence. You can't be afraid and love at the same time. You can't. You can't. It's like no two things can occupy the same space at the same time. You can't. You can't. But I want to go back to 281. I can be hurt by nothing but my thoughts, which means only my thoughts can hurt me. And we want to try to use that situation. Well, when I was a child, such and such happened, and so did such and such to me. Oh, because I thought I was the victim of the world I saw. Okay, so something happened, you know, somebody, oh my God, I had a friend actually, who lived on the block. She beat me up. This girl had muscles as a child. I don't, she one of those natural bodies that had muscles. And she beat me up. Am I supposed to hold on to that? Am I supposed to tell myself, poor me, because she beat me up, and live in a period of time that doesn't exist anymore? Let the past go because it's already gone. Am I supposed to be holding on to that hurt? Because it did hurt. Physically, it hurt. Yep, sure did. I cried too and ran home. But my thoughts about it, I hadn't thought about that in years. My thoughts about it, I pictured myself being there, and how it hurt and how afraid I was. All that. I'm being hurt by only my thoughts. And I'm reminded in Workbook Lesson 284 that I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can change my mind. I can be renewed in the spirit of my mind. That's how it's written in the Bible. I can change my thinking and change my life. That's how Ernest Holmes says it. I'm not obligated to stay stuck in one spot. Reverend Twana Malone, my senior minister, she keeps reminding us, if you're still, you know, talking about that thing that you talked about, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, you're really not practicing this teaching. You're not. And I don't mean you, I mean me. I'm not. If when I go to write down, what I want, the things my intentions that, what I would like to accomplish, all that kind of stuff, and I'm writing the same thing now that I was writing 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 5 years ago, then in that area, at least, I'm not practicing this teaching. And I'm not. I'm speaking the truth. I know I'm not. I'm not happy about it. It makes me aware. I'm becoming more and more aware of it, but I'm not. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. And the last two about hurt and suffering in the course workbook lessons, I will not hurt myself again today. That is basically saying that, all right, I have carried this thing that's not even there. The grudge, holding the grudge. I'm holding on to something that's not there. I'm holding on to the offense, believing that you offended me. Now, you did not give offense. You didn't just go grab a bag of offense and toss it to me. And even if what you said, you did so with the idea that it could hurt me, only my condemnation injures me. Only I can crucify myself. If I'm going through suffering, it's not because of what you said or what you did. It's not part of me. I'm only being hurt by my thoughts. And I know I'm being repetitious, just saying the same thing over and over and over again. But look, there are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 4, yeah, 8, because I'm going to exclude workbook lesson 282 from that. There are 8 lessons in there that are talking about crucifying myself and condemning myself and suffering and hurting myself. But it's also talking about changing my thoughts. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. Every response I make is determined by what I think I am. And when I remember to engage with God, when I remember that I am what God is, when I remember that I am that, when I remember that to the degree that I grasp at it, I am it, when I remember that I am an idea in the mind of God, when I remember that all power has been given to me, where is there room to crucify myself? Where is there room to condemn myself? Where is there room to injure myself? Where is there room for me to suffer? Where? If I'm choosing not to be afraid today, then I'm choosing to love today. If I'm choosing not to worry about what you think about me, I'm choosing to remember. I'm choosing to engage with God. I'm choosing to remember. I'm seeking the kingdom. I'm living in God. I'm moving in God. I just said this. I said earlier, I am living in God. I am moving in God. I am having my being in God. I am in it. I am in God. What is there for me to worry about? Why do I need to fear? I am in love. Hi, McKaylee. Hi, Sharonda. I am in love with God. Only my thoughts can hurt me. And I can elect to change them. And today, this day, I will not hurt myself. This day, I will be free of suffering, because this day I will continue to remember and continue to remember and continue to remember what God is, what I am, that I am what God is. You may wonder, the Course asks, how you can be at peace while you are in time. There is so much that must be done before the way to peace is open. Perhaps it seems impossible to you, but ask yourself if it's possible that God would have a plan for your salvation that does not work. How does the Course say? What could you not accept if you but knew that all things, all things, all things are gently planned by one whose only purpose is your good, who only wants good for you? Life is good. Life is grand. Life is great. And we are to be living it, as is written in the Bible, more abundantly. It's written that life has been given to us, and that more abundantly. Ask yourself if it's possible that God would have a plan for your salvation that doesn't work. Once you accept his plan as the one function that you would fulfill, there will be nothing else the Holy Spirit will not arrange for you without your effort. Holy Spirit will go before you, making straight your path and leaving in your way no stones to trip on and no obstacles to bar your way. Because only my condemnation injures me. It's only my thoughts that injure me. Nothing you need will be denied you, not one seeming difficulty, but will melt away before you reach it. It clears the way. It clears the way when we realize that there are no problems. There's only God. And here's where you need take thought for nothing. Take thought for nothing. Careless of everything. I don't have to worry about what to say or what to do, because the God that sent me will direct me. The Spirit that sent me will direct me. The life that sent me will direct me. I am what God is. My worth is established by my Creator. You need take thought for nothing, careless of everything except the only purpose that you would fulfill. As that was given you, so will its fulfillment be. God's guarantee, love that word, will hold against all obstacles, for it rests on certainty and not on contingency. That's why I don't have to worry. That's why I don't have to fear. That's why I don't have to be in a place of choosing hurt and pain and suffering and all that. That's why it rests on you, me. And what can be more certain than that? What can be more certain than you, me, God? We are ideas in the mind of God. We are what God is. We are what God is. In it, of it, having our being in it. This is it. This is it. This is it. All suffering aside, giving up the mic. Thanks, family. Oh, Lynn.
Thank you so much, Zulma. Yeah, you may not know this, but I am kind of operating under a little bit of a handicap.